Doris, in the book, there's so many, again, rich stories. You can tell your sort of love affair for Teddy Roosevelt. In many ways, you talked about his sort of entrepreneurial style of moving out of D.C. and going out and from being from a very affluent family, talking and connecting with everybody in the nation at different levels of, socioeconomic experience. And in many ways, he was sort of a master of that back when media wasn't following him. Translate what he did so well into, I think, what social media is helping presidents do now in modern times.
Well, I think what he did was he understood that he had to get out of Washington, that if you're in the headquarters, you're going to only be getting information that maybe coming up the line is what they think you're going to want to hear. So he was 6 weeks in the spring, 6 weeks in the fall on a train, whistle-stop train going around the country, stopping at every city, listening to newspaper editors, listening to complaints about which ones of his programs were working and which were not. And then he just kept going along the way. And there's a great story where he was constantly waving to people who would come to the little road crossings along the way. And he was waving at one point to a group, and he got a rather cold, if not really mean reception, and until he was told he was waving frantically at a herd of cows. But that shows how much energy he had to want to meet and greet with every person. Yes, you can do it through social media, and yes, you can do it if you're a CEO through email, but somehow if you can figure out how to do it with persons. I mean, Lincoln used to have ordinary people come into his office for 2 hours every morning, and they could tell their stories to him about why they wanted a job. These are the days before civil service. And after a while, his secretary said, "Lincoln, you don't have time for these ordinary people." He said, "You're wrong. I must never forget the popular assemblage from which I have come." So I think it's important for leaders to figure out how to get out of the little bubble they're in and learn from people outside how they're viewing your leadership from the outside in. And that's what these guys were able to do.